Across the long history of warfare, advanced civilizations are expected to follow a familiar progression. It begins with fire, advances through chemistry, and ultimately ascends into light. To the Galactic Union, a weapon's value is measured almost entirely by its energy output. The great stellar powers, the Ethel Guard, the Sylvari, and the Synthetic Hive, spent millions of years perfecting photon-based combat. They engineered rifles that fired concentrated beams of heat, cannons that launched stabilized plasma, and shields capable of dispersing the thermal output of a star in fractions of a second. To them, war was a quiet, elegant exchange of light. Clean. Efficient. Predictable. Above all, it obeyed thermodynamics. Strike an energy shield with an energy beam, and the shield vibrates, absorbs the heat, and nullifies the attack. A flawless system. But they forgot about Isaac Newton. They forgot that heat can be dispersed, but momentum cannot be negotiated with. They forgot that a chunk of metal traveling at several times the speed of sound does not care about thermal dampeners. When the Ethel Guard hegemony invaded the Sol system, they expected primitives clinging to obsolete tools. Instead, they encountered something far worse. They met the kinetic gods. A species that took the oldest weapon in history, a thrown rock, and elevated it to something divine. This is the story of the Battle of Highgate, and why the galaxy learned to fear the sound of impact. The Ethel Guard fleet arrived at Highgate Orbital Station with godlike confidence. Their soldiers, the Sunuard, wore armor formed from shimmering refractive crystals. Their interlocking shields were masterpieces of light-bending technology, able to reflect even the strongest plasma weapons. General Valerius observed the human defenses from his command bridge with thinly veiled contempt. "They are using chemically propelled projectiles," he remarked. "I can see the smoke. I can hear the crude detonations. They fight with ancient physics." The Sunuard advanced in perfect formation, shields overlapping into a wall of glowing blue energy. Violet lances of light fired in silence, melting human steel barricades as if they were wax. The humans did not respond. They waited, until the enemy was exactly 400 meters away. Then the station's silence was obliterated. It was not the hum of an engine or the whisper of a laser. It was a deep, chest-rattling thunder that shook bone and hull alike. The humans had opened fire with the Thumper, a 20mm rotary autocannon. In the Ethel Guard's doctrine, a weapon made noise when it struck its target. In human warfare, the sound existed to announce that death had already been launched. The first wave of tungsten core rounds slammed into the shield wall. The energy barriers responded exactly as programmed. They scanned for thermal signatures. They searched for light frequencies to dissipate. They found none. The projectiles carried no heat. No radiation. Only mass, cold, relentless, uncaring mass traveling at Mach 4. The shields did not ripple. They did not absorb. They shattered. Each slug carried more kinetic energy than 1,000 plasma bolts. When they struck the Sunuard's crystal armor, the armor did not melt. It exploded into razor-edged fragments. The immaculate alien formation disintegrated in seconds. This was not a clean death. It was violent, chaotic, and horrifying, old physics unleashed without mercy. "My shields are at full capacity," an Ethel Guard commander screamed over open comms. "They are not failing, but the rounds keep coming. They are tearing through the station." General Valerius watched in disbelief as his elite forces were erased. This was not random fire. It was precision. Rhythm. A calculated storm of ballistics. From nearly a kilometer away, a human sniper fired a single 50 caliber round. The bullet passed through the officer's shield as if it were air and left a hole through his torso wide enough to see daylight. "They are not using light," Valerius whispered, his hands trembling. "They are using the universe itself against us. They are throwing pieces of their world at us." Humans called it the gospel of the slug. To them, a firearm was not advanced technology. It was an extension of the body, reliable, simple, immune to EMPs, unaffected by power failures. As long as a spark existed, metal would fly. And then the rail guns came online. If the autocannons were thunder, the rail guns were divine judgment. Using electromagnetic rails, the humans launched 2-kilogram iron spikes at a fraction of light speed. When the first rail gun fired, even the vacuum of space seemed to scream. The spike did not explode upon impact. It ignored resistance entirely. It punched through the flagship's forward shields, traveled the full length of the vessel, through barracks, reactors, and command decks, and exited the far side, continuing into open space. The ship did not detonate. It simply stopped being a ship. A hollow shell, slain by a primitive metal rod. "They have no grace," Valerius cried as he fled to his escape pod. "This is not warfare, this is slaughter." "No, General," a human voice interrupted, hijacking his channel. "This is Newton's third law. You brought light to a rock fight. And we've been throwing rocks since caves." The Battle of Highgate ended in a full Ethelgard retreat. Across the galaxy, military doctrines were rewritten overnight. The age of pure energy weapons had ended. Empires scrambled to rediscover ballistic armor and kinetic shielding. They learned a simple truth: lasers are elegant, but bullets are final. Today, the human kinetic core are the most feared mercenaries among the stars. They lack glowing fleets or psychic abilities. They carry smoking barrels, empty casings, and unshakable certainty. In the Great Museum of Galactic History, a single artifact is displayed behind reinforced glass. Not a laser. Not a fusion bomb. A crushed lead bullet pulled from an Ethelgard cruiser. The plaque reads: "Light may guide you, but momentum decides where you stop. Beware humanity. They are the only species to turn the laws of motion into faith."